While most students packed up and left the Baton Rouge area, others chose to have their family members come and stay with them in the dorms.
Tiger TV's Amy Hutchinson went into the residential halls to see how some families are making themselves right at home.
With less than 12 hours until the expected landfall of Hurricane Gustav, the few LSU residents who remained on campus are bunkering down. And although over 3,500 students have left the residential halls, they're not all alone. Students like Katie Duckett are getting a unique opportunity to share their rooms with none other than their own families.
I would have been fine in the dorm, but it's nice to have company.
And Katie's mom, Loretta, is grateful for the open room at the engineering hall.
I was a little nervous about her staying here, although I knew she'd be safe. And then when she called and said that we could come here, I thought, well, that's a good idea. It's a lot less traveling time. I'd be with her.
Residents were given specific instructions on how to register their guests at the front desk and are allowed to have up to 8 immediate members of their family stay, with the exception of pets. Katie is unsure of how long her mom can stay with her, but knows it's short term. For Tiger TV, I'm Amy Hutchinson, tracking Gustav.
Director of Residential Life Steve Waller said that residential halls are a safe choice when it comes to weathering the hurricane. Just under 200 non-student guests are currently registered in the Res Life halls. With upwards of 15 inches of rain expected to be dumped on LSU's campus over the next few days, localized flooding will become a major issue. According to Fred Fellner, Assistant Director of LSU's Landscape Services, Highland Road between South Campus and Raphael Sims is very susceptible to flash flooding. On the other end of campus, Seba Lane, near the Copy and Mail Center, has the potential to retain at least 1 foot of water. For students with cars parked on campus, the parking lot between Highland Hall and Highland Cafeteria is a major flood risk if rainfall persists for many hours. For those parked in these areas, the parking lot that is adjacent to West Campus Apartments and Tower Drive in front of the Union is considered safe from the rising waters.
Although there were no evacuations for the Baton Rouge area, residents wasted no time today prepping for high winds and floodwaters. Some folks got sandbags from a local fire station, but getting ready for a huge hurricane turned into a community service project. As Hurricane Gustav barrels toward the Gulf Coast as an unstoppable storm, residents in Baton Rouge aren't taking any chances.
I feel very prepared.
They're bagging up sand.
They go around my whole house.
And bringing it home.
I've seen them work, and it's better than nothing.
To keep out any potential floodwaters.
I got some just to be safe. My parents told me I may not need, but just to be safe.
At fire station number 12 on Government Street, more than 10 truckloads were scooped up.
What about you, sir? How many you need?
And sent home.
We got 10.
You got 10?
Folks who came out today say it's not all about preparing for a storm, but about a community coming together, bag by bag.
We've had some nice people out here that offered to help, that they would do their sandbags, and after they'd done them, they offered to help bag for other people, for the elderly, for the ladies.
Keeping their property safe is a concern.
Most people get somewhere around 15 bags of sand to put in front of their doors if they are in a low-lying area to help prevent flooding.
But caring about others is on their storm checklist too.
Everybody help everybody out.
Really, we got a lot of people out there without homes, and I see them every day. And they need somewhere to go, but, you know, you can't help them out.
As each grain of sand is shoveled, local people cling together. And that's something they say no storm can blow away. Captain Vidrine said more than 100 people came out today to fill the sandbags.
Coming up, I'll show you the latest coordinates on Hurricane Gustav, and I'll have tips for you for those of you staying in the dorms. Stay tuned, you're watching Tiger TV's special coverage of Hurricane Gustav. Welcome back. We're here to keep you informed about the latest on Hurricane Gustav. Currently, the outer bands are just starting to affect the Baton Rouge area, and residents should expect hard rain and intensifying winds throughout the night. Because of this, a tornado watch has been put into effect in East Baton Rouge Parish. Residents are being urged to stay inside and stay away from windows, which should be a theme over the next 16 to 24 hours. As we showed you earlier, Gustav is currently packing maximum sustained winds of 115 miles per hour. Gustav is moving pretty fast at 16 miles per hour and should be making a landfall around 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. The latest track out of the National Weather Service has Gustav moving inland around the Houma area and taking a sharp westerly turn, taking the storm towards the Lafayette once inland. The current projections have Gustav making landfall as a strong Category 3 and weakening it as it goes over land. For those who decided to ride out the storm, on campus we have compiled a small list of things that can help you get through the storm safely. Number one thing we can tell all of you is just to stay inside, no matter what. Even if the storm has passed, power lines may be down around the area and pose a serious risk to anyone walking around outside. Most residents on campus will most likely lose water pressure and without water for multiple days. To combat this, we will urge you to fill your tubs in water and conserve as much as possible. Baton Rouge is also expected to get wind gusts of upwards of 75 miles per hour, and flying debris is very dangerous. If your window is damaged by debris, find the nearest enclosed area in your dorm. For the latest on Hurricane Gustav, visit tigertv.wordpress.com. That's all I have today from the Hurricane Center. More on Tiger TV's special coverage of Hurricane Gustav after the break.
Well, humans aren't the only living things that LSU is worried about when it comes to surviving the storm.
The LSU School of Veterinary Medicine had an evacuation plan for its animals to keep them safe during strong weather. Reporter Natalie Messina found out how they'll keep those critters out of harm's way.
With Gustav threatening to crash into the Gulf of Mexico as an unstoppable hurricane, people aren't the only evacuees gearing up. Man's best friend is tagging along too. The LSU Veterinary School of Medicine is scrambling to get as many patients out of the hospital to make room for animals who may be injured from the storm's blow. But they're advising animal lovers to act fast before it's too late.
People have gotten their horses and cattle out from along the coast by now.
With a few less animal noises coming from the hospital halls, the school says they're prepared for the worst.
If we have animals that are here that have to be evacuated, we have plans for that. We have trailers lined up.
They even have a special trailer they plan to utilize for triage patients. It's a mini vet clinic on wheels. The trailer was given to the school after Hurricane Katrina. Meconico says evacuees need to take their animals to shelters set up in conjunction with the LSU Vet School in Alexandria, Shreveport, and Monroe. With the school's pastures located just yards from the Mississippi River, Meconico says flooding isn't a big concern.
This building is extremely secure. That levee has been here a really long time, and we don't really expect that there's going to be a need to evacuate the patients that are here.
For Tiger TV's Newsbeat, I'm Natalie Messina.
If your pet needs medical attention, visit the vet school's website. You can find it on the LSU homepage.
For students who aren't originally from the United States, hurricanes might be foreign instances of weather, and they might not know what kind of punches a hurricane might throw their way. But some students from China living in Edward Gay apartments say the university prepared them well. Stocked with bottled water and canned goods, and a gang of friends, one international student says he isn't worried about Hurricane Gustav.
Feel that we are not alone. Yeah. And we know that we're near LSU and the people will still can get help. Yeah, since we know the Katrina, and this time I look at the TV and I know that the government do prepare much better than last time.
International students can find some resources at the International Cultural Center. They can contact them at 225-342-3084.
The LSU emergency text messaging system isn't the only way for students to stay on top of the storm. Students shouldn't solely rely on that text messaging system. The Emergency Operations Center suggests that students visit the LSU website, watch local or campus news, or call the LSU Emergency Hotline at 225-578-4636. Thanks for watching tonight. For full campus coverage of Hurricane Gustav, visit our blog at www.tigertv.wordpress.com.
And our blog is always updated, so that's a great source of information. Be safe and have a great night, LSU.